it is not always great to be the last speaker in the panel, because what happens is that most of the thoughts and themes have been covered. And also, since Ritu has been looking at her watch, it makes my job easier. So what I will do is, I work for a media company, but my business is essentially dependent on retail. So what I will do is, I'll touch upon certain things which have impacted my business in the new scenario. So obviously, the licensing model works like this, that we have licensees across categories who take our IP and create products from them. So I don't deal directly with retail, but they are completely dependent on retail. All formats, whether it is mom and pop, whether it's modern trade, or it is e-commerce. Now, how the scenario has changed in the last year and a half. In 2013, for example, my business used to be completely dependent on modern trade and mom and pop stores. And since licensing business is still slightly niche in India and nascent stages, I used to be available in about 25, 30 towns, top 25, 30 cities, metros, class A cities, etc. Today, because what e-commerce has done to retail, I am now selling 32-inch figurines of Batman in cities like Gorakhpur, for example, which I never thought was possible just about 2 years back. So what has happened is that the way e-retail has changed the scenario completely for business like ours is that they have started talking directly to the consumer. So gone are those days when my licensees used to depend completely on the whims and fancies of a particular retailer, a modern trade guy. And this is all due respect to the brick and mortar retail. Obviously, they are doing a great job there. And trying to do shop and shops and try to haggle on the commissions and those kind of things. Now they can talk directly to the end consumer, and people are buying online. What is fueling this business also to some extent is that the fact that people are getting more and more aware of the IPs. E-commerce is available across, e-commerce business is taking our products across so many places, smaller towns, smaller locations we never thought were imaginable just about 2 years back. Two underlying themes in retail and why India will always do, and all businesses will coexist, whether it is mom and pop, whether it's modern trade, that is brick and mortar, and e-commerce is, if you remember your last generation, people used to save money by spending more time. Now, people are spending more money to save time. It's the other way around. And what is happening is that a lot of people now, for the convenience and for saving time, would actually go out and buy convenience for convenience. So e-commerce is fueling that in a big way. And the other thing is that in India as a market, probably unless the product life cycle has come to an end, there will always be a market for all products. As an example, when people like us started realizing that colas are not good for health for us, there's a whole generation and an entire gamut of population which started affording it. So there'll always be a market there. E-commerce is obviously doing extremely well. However, there's a lot to be done. Rough estimates on e-commerce spread right now is about 4 to 5% of the population in India actually buys online, out of a population 1.2 billion. So obviously there's a lot left to be done. Also, e-commerce, because of the logistics, can only cater to about 15,000 zip codes, whereas India has about 150,000 pin codes and zip codes. As Damodar pointed out, obviously, modern trade is also there, and they're also fighting for survival, and this is a tough fight. I think for e-commerce, the next evolution would be in grocery retail, because then you have to have cold chains. Logistics will itself not work. So, having said that, I think I'm a firm believer that all the three formats, whether it's mom and pop, whether it is e-commerce, or it's modern trade, or LFRs as we call them, they're all going to coexist. However, the players who will exist are the ones who are the most effective, efficient, and innovative. Thank you.